Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Soul Ripper Jack, and I welcome you back to Shadowrun, Hong Kong. Where we left off, a lot of shit happened. First off, we went to a pier. We arrived in a pier. Had to fight off some triads. Went to meet up the rendezvous point where we were supposed to meet up with Raymond. Pardon me. Met up with Shadowrunners. After meeting up with the Shadowrunners and cutting a deal with them, the Shadowrunners get shot, including Carter. So all of them are dead except these two here, which is a rat mage. Well, not a mage, a shaman, and a dwarf, Decker. And we had to escape from the cops, and now we're in the depths of the sewers. How charming. Now, let's continue, shall we? The rat shaman guides you from the doorway on the street through the eternity of winding alleys, damp sub-basements, and empty buildings. Stumbling through refuse and filth, you make your way into the sewers below Victoria Harbour. It reeks down here. Pardon me. Oh wow, I didn't eat anything, and I'm gassier than ever. Sorry. It reeks down here, but it's quiet. Gobbet stops, sniffs, and wipes her eyes with the back of her wrists. Her rat squeaks softly in the folds of her clothing. The dwarf watches her silently for a moment, then moves closer and gently takes her hand. In the dim light of the sewer, you can see they're nearly the same age, no more than 20, 21, tops. Need a rest? The two women exchange a glance. No, we're good. Gobbet looks back, but the way you came. I think we've shaken them. She sniffs the air. Yeah, we're clear. Wu begins pacing, his boots splashing in the sewer water, creating echoes down the tunnel. You can feel the tension coming off of him in waves. This is bullshit. I've done messing around in alleys and sewers. I'm done running from the cops. He pokes a thumb at his chest and spits in anger. Spits his anger forth in a raspy growl. For fuck's sakes, I am a cop! We noticed. Where there's Lone Star Sergeant's dead back. There's a Lone Star Sergeant dead back there. Damn it, she was. Wu starts to choke up. He struggles against it, fighting to maintain control, but he needs a minute to recover. He finally managed to pull it together, but he's raw. When he speaks again, his voice is seething and hoarse. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Hong Kong cops, but I'm calling in some Lone Star backup. I'm calling on some Lone Star backup from home. I'm gonna get some of my own people down here. Then we're going to find Raymond and figure out what the hell's going on. The little orc shrugs. Whatever you say, big guy. You have fun with that. She looks over at her friend. They both nod. Iz and I are out of here. Best of luck finding your friend. Your people died in the hail of gun and of sniper fire. You're not gonna do anything about it? Best of luck? That's it? He's not our friend. He's our foster father. She looks straight at you. Her tone is flat. And he's probably a dead man. Sorry, but it's the truth. Wu isn't listening. You can see it on his face that he's already written the orc girl off. He pulls his security grade PDA from its holster. On his left leg, raises it and starts tapping the buttons with meaty fingers. The Lone Star logo on the back of the device looks shiny and official. He goes back to the screen. I don't believe it. It's saying This is saying there's an APB out on us, Alexander. You and me both. I'd figured as much. You heard them on the loudspeaker. They knew our names. Wu glares at the wall. A storm rages across his face. Fucking hell! His hands clench into a fist around his PDA. This just keeps getting worse. He leans forward as if to punch a wall, his knuckles rasping against it softly. A pantomime of barely constrained rage. Suddenly he turns and slings his PDA at the far wall. It hits hard and bounces back. It hits hard, bounces back, and clatters to the ground at his feet. He looks down on it, spent. The orc mouths an okay to herself, eyebrows raised. And on that note, I think it's time for us to say goodbye. Come on, Isobel. Let's... She gets caught off by a sudden smashing noise as her friend's boot comes crashing down on the PDA at Wu's feet. The dwarf looks down at her work, unsatisfied, and brings her boot down again and again and again, until there's nothing left but a snarl of plastic housing, broken glass, and a circuit board. She looks up at Wu, her chest heaving at points at a pile of scrap she created. Police issued. They can trace you through that. She turns to you, handed out. Yours too. It's on the network. Well, there goes all my free upgrade points. Isabel takes your PDA and repeats her boot stomping. There. She looks over at Gobbet, sighs, and then reaches into her jacket pocket, pulling out 2 new PDAs. She hands them to you and Duncan. Burners. I suppose it's at least we could do after your help back there. Got any snacks in there? I'm getting a bit peckish. Isabel isn't listening. She's staring open-mouthed at her own PDA, its bluish glow illuminating her horrified expression. Gobbet, we gotta go now. Right now. Isabel's voice is monotone but empathetic. She holds up her PDA to a friend. They're after us too. Her screen displays a local newscast. On your own face stares back at you from the upper left corner of the screen. And in breaking news, just under an hour ago, Hong Kong port authorities were involved in a firefight with members of the terrorist cell linked to the mainland city-state of Hainan. The battles left 3 terrorists dead along with unconfirmed number of Hong Kong police officers. Your image winks out, replaced by a scowling image of Duncan Wu, a mugshot from a long time ago, before Raymond. Our sources report that Seattle natives Duncan Wu and Alexander L., along with their Hong Kong-based accomplices, are still at large. They are well armed and should be considered extremely dangerous. Low-res polygraphs of Gobbet and Isobel pop up from on screen, replacing Duncan Wu. The color drains out from Gobbet's face. Oh shit. Kowloon officials report that the terrorist cell known as the White Star maintains ties to the state of Henan, and it's purported to be receiving weapons and funding from anti-cooperative groups in the UCAS city-state of Seattle. Isn't UCAS an examination for English students? Who knows? English educational students, anyway. Port authorities are standing on high alert, and the Hong Kong Police Force Special Duties Unit has been engaged to deal with the threat. We go live to the Chief Inspector Crate of Special Duties Unit, who will be making a statement. Behind the newscaster, a video window displays the location of your firefight in Victoria Harbour. The camera pans to Chief Inspector Crate. She is surrounded by a swarm of news reporters, but appears unfazed by the attention. She speaks with supreme confidence. We have yet to ascertain the motive for tonight's attack, but it's clearly a well-planned and coordinated effort. Crates sounds smooth, like a corporate mouthpiece than a cop. We have already issued an all-points bulletin along with a kill or capture order for the 4 remaining terrorists, and I have instructed our Special Duties Unit to make this manhunt a top priority. She looks directly into the camera. If you should see one or more of these individuals, do not attempt to engage them. Instead, tab the HKPF flash code on the bottom of the screen. If you are an authorized network and take that's how it works. That's how it goes. And take a picture. Our system will automatically identify them in your data stream. The Deca switches off the newscast and clips her PDA back into her belt. For a moment there is no sound, but the roar of sewer water rushing through the pipes. Gobbet bends over, hands on her knees, sucking wind. Her rats scurry for a new position. I thought we were fucked before, whose voice sounds eerily calm, but now we're truly fucked. Doesn't look good, does it? His mouth tightens. Not at all. He began stalking back and forth, a panther in a cage. They've labeled us terrorists. They've labeled us terrorists, and there's an APB out on us. I've heard this kind of announcement before. I know what comes with it. It doesn't matter if we have nothing to do with whatever city-state. They're gonna hunt us down. It's open season. Isabel nudges the remains of Wu's PDA with her boot toe, and the 2 of us will be hunted right alongside you. Gobbet wide eyes the exit, tight as a spring. You can hear shallow panting as she leans towards one then the other. We gotta go deep, hit the mainland for a while until we can figure this out. Find a hole to crawl into. Gobbet looks at Isabel, wipes her mouth, and points at you and Duncan. We gotta get them off the grid too. Way off. The dwarf looks up at Duncan and her large eyes narrow. Hey, Lone Star, you got a security license, right? That means you got a SIN too. Of course I have a SIN. I wouldn't be able to get paid otherwise. Only criminals and lowlifes go sinless. Wu's brow furrows. She runs her hands along her cyberdeck, thinking. That means that you can be traced, both of you. You get spotted by a drone or a security camera, get ID'd by a rental scanner, or try to use your credit stick, that's the word, credit stick, or passport, and the HKPF will know just where to find you. Wu crosses his arms across his chest. I know how a system identification number works, Runner. And this is where my etiquette of Shadowrunner comes into play. We gotta have to burn our sins if we're going to survive this. The 2 women nod. You got that right, Seattle. We're just as screwed as you are. You are as screwed as you are. Me and We're listed as your accomplices, and we can't afford to we can't afford you to get caught. You'll lead them to us, one way or another. DNA samples, things we've told you, astral residue, I don't know, cop stuff. The little Decker looks from you to Wu, eyes narrowing, sizing you up. You can see her make a slight decision before she speaks. Her voice is flat, resigned. All of them? Whoa, Whoa, wait a minute. You want us to just erase our identities? Wu rubs his hand across his scalp. Beyond the fact that it's insane, will that even work? If we burn our sins, go off the grid like that, won't they just redouble their efforts to find us? I don't know how to pronounce that. Condensation. Okay, that is what it is. Shit, I thought it was something completely different. Condensation seeps its way into Isabel's dry tongue. Imagine playing a game of hide-and-seek, with a siren strapped to your head. Would you rather try and hide with the siren, or with the siren conspicuously absent? Deleting our identities across the entire matrix sounds hard. The little Deckers nods knowingly. It's very difficult. I can't do it. Some can. Some people can. Organizations, expert systems. Goblet's voice dropped. We gotta ask for help. There's only one person we know who has that kind of pull to make it takes to burn a sin and hide us from the cops. Kindly Cheng. Let me guess. This Kindly Cheng is some sort of underworld hard ass? Like a walnut. I don't know if that was supposed to be condescending. Like a walnut. She's what is known as a straw sandal, kind of a middle manager for the Yellow Lotus Syndicate. They're triad. Kindly Cheng controls all illegal activity in the neighborhood, smuggling, bootlegging, counterfeiting. Sounds like my kind of scum. She leans in, serious as death. This is no joke. Kindly Cheng controls a good-sized portion of Kowloon's underworld. She has soldiers, resources. She's smart, and she does not want to be underestimated. Isabel's voice is hollow and flat. Taking favors from a woman like Kindly Cheng is a good way to get yourself into indentured servitude. You don't want to owe favors to a woman like that. Her eyes get big and round. Ideally, you don't want to deal with her at all. That was Nightjar's job. Nightjar's job? You mean you work with her? What did we just tell you? She's got her fingers in everything, including brokering Shadowrunners for the corpse. Kindly Cheng is our fixer. Goblet tries to make her voice light, confident. Just stay on her good side, and you should have nothing to worry about. Now let's get going. Now let's get this done before one of you trips the APB and brings all hell down upon us. Agreed. But Jesus Christ. I mean, do do movie spies have to deal with this sort of stuff? I mean, I know they're movie spies, but you have to think about it. They have to deal with a whole slew of shit. Okay. Yeah, we have to enter the subway system. I'm wondering if we'll be in a fight. Sinless. You scramble up the ladder and through an accessway, where the sewer system splits you out into Hong Kong's mass transit railway system, the MTR. Crossing the rails, you climb up to the platform into the station. Above you is Haoi. I think that's how you pronounce that. Where the rat shaman and the little decker plan to plead your case to kindly Chang, the one woman they know who can help you get the underground and off the grid fast. But there'll be a price. Chang is a triad boss whose favors tend to come with strings attached. With the sounds of waterfront at the night peak down from the stairway to the surface, peering up the steps, you can catch a glimpse of the night sky, overcast and low. And thankfully, this autosaves, so I don't have to worry about that. And I got 5 karma. Lovely. The sewers deposit you into a series of mechanical access ways that eventually linked to the system of railway tunnels. Gobbet leads you through 5 or 6 magnetically sealed doors and across several sets of electrified tracks until she indicates you've reached your destination. She holds up her hand, indicates the surrounding platforms. This is the MTR station for Haoi. Once you go up those stairs, you'll be in our neighborhood. Kindly Chang runs her operations with operation out of Mahjong Parlor, Mahjong Parlor. They're called Swift Winds. Wu rips off his goggles. There's an APB out on us. How do you expect us to get this Swift Winds place without taking a bullet? Haoi is well known as a protected area. Kindly Cheng sees to that. It's a shadow community. Smugglers, hijackers, black marketeers. You get the idea. Cops tend to give this place a wide berth. Isabel gives a shallow nod. Her gaze remains planted on the floor. Police cameras don't last long here. Between the smog and the cloud cover, we shouldn't have to worry about drone surveillance either. The HKPF won't find you, not if you follow our lead. Gobbet widens her stance, puts her hands on her hips. Now, this is how it's going to work. You can't get an audience with Chung until we secure your invitation. So me and Iz will go ahead and pay our respects. Then we'll request to see you. And then we'll request that she sees you. Politely. An invitation? How do we get that? The rat shaman smirks. We'll kiss her ass until it shines. Isabel sighs. That's about the size of it. Gobbet holds up a hand. One more thing. Kindly Chang is a dangerous woman. She may seem friendly, but don't let your guard drop. And whatever you do, do not disrespect her. Got it. She drops her hand, nods to the 3 of you. That's it. We'll go on ahead and smooth the way. Just give us a few minutes head start, and don't talk to anyone. What if the locals recognize us from the news broadcast? Call the cops. Gobbet smirks and shakes her head. No one in Haoi calls cops. Doing that around here is the quickest way to get dead. is a quick way to get dead. Thanks for your help. She squints at you, confused. We're helping ourselves as much as we're helping you, Seattle. We need your sins burned as badly as you do, and we need to figure a way out of this shit, or we're all dead. Plus, we could use the muscle right now. Her voice turns sheepish. Just saying. She quickly turns away, see you at the mahjong parlor. The Shadowrunner's footsteps quickly fall away. Then you are alone with Wu. He grunts something unintelligible and begins panther stalking back and forth again, footprints of sewer water and muck marking his path on the subway platform behind him. Minutes pass. Wu stops his pacing and runs both hands over his face, groaning a sound of anxiety and disgust. It's desperate, and he stands there silently, his hands covering his face, and his shoulders shaking with emotion. Then he begins to laugh. It's a laugh that comes from down deep, from the place where fear and frustration and impotence swirl. But the barrier holds. Wu focuses, taking control of his breathing, and his laughter begins to slow. He becomes himself again. Oh my God, Alexander. An aftershock of laughter shudders through him. Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell are we doing here? How did we get into this? He drops his hands and turns to you, shaking his head in disbelief. I think I'm gonna lose it. Go ahead. We're alone. Wu walks to the wall of the subway station silently. He stands there for a moment, lost in thought, and then his fists explode in a fury of punches. He hits the wall hard, sending plaster crumbling to the floor at his feet. The orc breathes heavily for a moment, heads down, hands on hips, spent. Carter is dead, Alexander. They fucking ended her. He puts his hands on his forehead. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Just focus on finding Raymond. So that's it. Just throw Carter down memory hole and bury her deep, put my partner's death behind me, and carry on like a good little Lone Star? He holds up a hand. Don't answer. His voice goes flat. He's done. It doesn't matter anymore. We're stuck in this country, surrounded by criminals. And the police are trying to blow our heads off. He grabs the back of his neck, squeezes. Screw it. Maybe I should just let them, you know? You know why? Because we're gonna burn our sins, Alexander. Jesus Christ. Do you get what that means? The moment we do that, we're dead. To all the world, we're dead. We're wiped clean. He counts off his fingers. Raymond, the house we grew up in, my career, Carter, all gone. No home, no money, no identity, nothing. He waves his hand, brushes it all away. We'll be a nobody. I'm gonna find a way out of this. Just follow my lead like you did in the old days. You want to bring up the old days? Are you fucking serious? You left the old days behind years ago. Wu's neck cranes forward. His lower jaw thrusts out ahead of him. You left me behind. You left me behind. Memories flash bright suddenly. You're back 8 years ago, on the street outside of Raymond's house. Just you and Wu, the middle of the night. Oh wow, this might be a long episode. I might need to cut it. Might. Young Duncan, you can't just leave like this, Alexander. What am I going to say to Raymond? You know how he is. I got something to attend to, Duncan. And it can't wait. That's what you keep saying, but you still won't tell me what's going on. What's so important that you have to run now, in the middle of the night, without even telling Raymond why? He's distraught. You can see it on his face, hear it in his voice. He used to be lost without you. Some people messed with me, and I don't intend to letting them get away with it. Could use your help. His eyes widen. I can't give you help like that anymore. I'm on a good path now, Alexander. I can't afford to mess that up. Look, whatever's going on, I can tell you one thing. Raymond's will not approve. I'll deal with that when I get back. I won't be gone long. 2-3 days tops. You remember the look on Duncan's face as you walked away. The events that followed were a blur. One that you don't care to remember. 3 days later you were behind bars in a private corporate prison. No interrogation, no charges, no appeal. Pardon me. Years later, some corporation brought some other corporation, and a new board of directors pushed through some sort of reform agenda. And the higher-ups gave an order. And then you were out, with a few hundred new yen to your name, and one scary-as-hell non-disclosure agreement ensuring your silence. None of that mattered to you anymore. You were starting fresh, determined. Until Raymond tracked you down, left you that voicemail, brought you to Hong Kong, and back together with Duncan Wu. You realize that Wu's been staring at you. Now, let's hear it. Where the hell have you been all this time? Why didn't you contact me? At least tell me you were alive. I wanted to, Duncan, but I was locked up tight. Corporate black site. No communication. No shit? No shit. He squints at you. Full lie detector mode. Oh, fuck, I had no idea. The range of emotions play across Wu's face. He stares to the ground for some time before finally looking back up at you with a heavy sigh. Wow, I really don't know how to process that one right now. He shakes his head. I don't know. If we're still alive tomorrow, we can talk more. This shit is too much. We're marooned on this island, hunted by the cops. My partner's dead. Raymond is missing, and we're about to see a crime lord about erasing our goddamn identities. And as a bonus, our only allies are a pair of tiny criminals who would kill us if they could, so they didn't have to deal with this. He rubs his head viciously. Listen, Alexander. Back in the Barrens, whenever I was out of control, you just handled the situation, remember? With Carter gone, I'm just a raw nerve. I'm afraid I'm gonna slip back, and people are gonna get hurt again. I got lead, Duncan, just like I used to. He stares at you hard, like he's trying to see something inside your head. He checks his weapon, cocks and locks. Back to business. Good. Now let's go meet with this Triad woman and get our damn sins burned. I want to rip off this bandage as fast as I can. And I am at the 40-minute mark. At least I hope. I can't really tell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow with the new chapter of Valkyria Chronicles. I'll be starting off this session with one day being Valkyria Chronicles, one day being Shadowrun, and when the 9th of May starts coming around, a new game will be coming out, and I'm willing to play that out as well. So, enjoy your night, and this has been Soul Ripper Jack, and I bid you all a farewell. Ta-da!